got the answer. So this is a problem we were discussing. Okay, so now first we have found out the probability of false alarm, the first one. The part A we have found out, so that is probability of false alarm. So how much we got? So is it 1.38 into 10 power minus 9 which we got? Okay, so B which we got the threshold to noise ratio, that is Vt by 2 by psi naught. You take that to this side and you will get Vt square by psi naught. So the threshold to noise ratio, how much we got? Around 32 dB, right? Is it not? So now we were discussing about the third one, that is, what is the third one? So repeat A and B for an average false alarm time of 1 year. So 1 year we have calculated what is the time of false alarm. So this is it will comes around 31.5 into 10 power 6. So now correspondingly you find out what is the probability of false alarm for this, 1 by TFA into B. Okay, so find out what is the value, and similarly find out what is Vt square by psi naught, that threshold to noise ratio for this particular false alarm. So this you have to find out. Have you done it? Hello, have you got these values? Okay, so what is the value? Is it
7.93 into 10 power minus 14.
Yeah, 7.9 into 10 power minus 14. And the noise ratio, threshold to noise ratio, so you know the expression, so try to calculate PFA equal to exponential of minus Vt square by 2 psi naught. Use that and get the value in terms of dB. How much you got? Is it 15.51 dB or any other value you got? So I think you have taken 10 log. You have to take 20 log, Arshita. Just check it once. How much is it? Around 35 dB, 35.6 dB. Okay, so this you check for this, whatever the probability of false alarm. So now the D is whenever you increase the value of the Vt square by the psi naught, whatever the threshold to noise ratio in dB, if you just decrease the value by 0.3 dB. So if you take whatever we got here in B, just if you take the 0.3 dB down, okay, 31.91 dB if you take. So now what is the probability of time false alarm? That is average time of false alarm. And similarly, if you increase, so this is your decreasing. If you increase by 0.3 dB, okay, so now what is the probability of false alarm and corresponding average time of false alarm? So that is, if you take so by increment of 0.3 dB, which is 32.5 dB, now what is the corresponding the time average of false alarm? So for this you find out what is uh, the time average of false alarm. So then we can comment what is the effect of this dB value, that is threshold to noise ratio. So now find out for this value how much it is giving the time average of false alarm. Average time between the false alarm, you calculate, tell me. So what is the value for first one? D and E we can call this, okay. Have you calculated? Okay, so this is the when we decrease the value of threshold to noise ratio by 0.3 dB, okay. So what is the corresponding the time average between false alarms, and if it is increased by 0.3 dB, what is the time average? Calculate this one and this one. So tell me the false alarm time, average time between false alarm for this E and D case. How much? Karthik, have you calculated? Sushma? Hello? Rishita, calculated? Hello? Speak out. So okay, so you check it. So this for D you will get around 14.98 minutes, okay, and for E you will get 61.28 minutes, okay. So now we can see here the average time between false alarms just for increasing 0.3 dB or decreasing 0.3 dB values, how much it is significantly varying the average time between false alarms. So that's why you need to take care of this threshold to noise ratio, so in order to overcome this problem of false alarm, okay. So that's why the variation which is given, and it is shown that how much time variation it will happen between false alarms, okay. So the even if you do 0.001 dB value of threshold to noise ratio, then the false detection will increase or decrease corresponding to the threshold to noise ratio, okay. So that is the inference which can get from this problem, okay. So now you take another one and try to do this. So a radar has bandwidth B equal to 50 kilohertz and an average time between false alarms of 10 minutes. Then what is the probability of false alarm? So and if PRF, pulse repetition frequency were 1000 hertz and if the first 15 nautical miles of range were gated out, the receiver is turned off at this time because of the use of long pulse, then what would be the new probability of false alarm? So assume false alarm remains constant. So probability you need to find out for the whenever the receiver is turned off. So now if the difference between A and B, is it significant? So and what is the pulse width that results in the maximum, that minimum range of 15 nautical miles? Okay, so now find out. So first use so this is a problem 2. So the radar has bandwidth 50 kilohertz and average time between false alarm is 10 minutes, and you need to find out all these things. What is the probability of false alarm, and if the PRF, the pulse repetition frequency, for 100 hertz, and if the first 15 nautical miles is that range is gated out, that receiver is turned off, then what is the new probability of false alarm? So assuming that it should remain constant, but what is the variation, you have to find out. So now if the difference is A and B is significant, and comment on that, and what is the pulse width that results in a minimum range of 15 nautical mile. So find out. So you know the probability of false alarm. Find out this one, it is anyhow you know. So this one you know, probability of false alarm, which is equal to 1 by TFA into bandwidth. So this you know, 50 kilohertz into the time average 10 minutes. If you convert into seconds, 10 into 60. So how much probability of false alarm?
3.33 into 10 power minus 8.
Okay, 3.33 into 10 power minus 8. So this you have find out. So now we know the minimum range which is receiver is turned off. First you find out what is the pulse width required for that minimum range, for this minimum range. So that we know the range which will be given by, so C into tau by 2. So now we know R and C, you calculate what is a tau. So that gives the result for D also. What is a pulse width that results in a minimum range of 15 nautical miles? So now it is 2R by C, so which is equal to 2 into the range is 15 nautical miles, converted to kilometer 1.852. Okay, so divided by 0.3 or 300 into 10 power 6, 0.3 into 10 power 9. Find out what is the tau value.
And 1.82 into 10 power minus 7.
Okay, so 1 point
1.82 into 10 power minus 7.
1.12 into 10 power minus 7. Okay, check once whether it is. So this is 2 into R, which is 15 nautical miles, into 1.852 divided by 0.3 into 10 power 9. Is it all of you getting the same? Check it once. So here it is kilometer, sorry, 1.852 into 10 power 3 you have to take. It is 1.852 kilometer. 1 nautical miles equal to 1.852 kilometers. That you need to take. Okay, so that's why you are getting here 10 power minus 7. So if you include 10 power 3, it will become 10 power minus 4. Okay, so all of you are getting this one 1.12 into 10 power minus 4. Is it fine? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now this is the pulse width. So now we know for this pulse width we have to find out the bandwidth. Okay, so because the receiver is turned off for this range, whatever the 15 nautical miles, so now we need to find out the bandwidth, so that we know b into tau, which is equal to 1. So now b equal to 1 over tau. So now what is the new bandwidth for the receiver which is turned off for this 15 nautical mile range? So find out the bandwidth. So it is 1 over tau. So how much?
5.39 kilometers.
Okay,
Kilohertz.
5.39 kilohertz. Okay, so now for the new bandwidth you need to find out the probability of false alarm. So that will given by TFA into B. So now for new bandwidth, find out the what is the probability of false alarm. How much?
3 into 10 power
3 into 10 power
minus.
minus 7. Is it? Is it 3 into 10 power minus 7? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so now you can compare the probability of false alarm, okay, when the receiver is turned off, which is equal to 10 power 3 into 10 power minus 7, and the receiver is turned off up to 15 nautical miles. So now if it is on, so then it will be 3 into 10 power minus 8. So that is 3.33 into 10 power minus 8. So now you can see the difference, it is 10 types. Okay, so this one, okay, so this we will get, so when you multiply 10 times, that means whenever the receiver is not turned off, so your probability of false alarm which will be less. So when the receiver is turned off, your probability of false alarm will going to increase 10 times. Okay, so that's why, so you need to take care. So this whatever the receiver, by chance of the duplexer whatever you are using, if it is not properly working, so this happens. Okay, so the probability of false alarm will going to increase. Okay, so that is how we need to take care for that. So this is the how we can take care of this receiver. So even if you turned off for minimum range, so this will give the probability of false alarm significantly, it will affect. So that is the problem. So and what is the pulse width that results in a minimum range of 15 nautical miles? So that we have find out. So this is the pulse width for that 15 nautical miles range. Okay, so this is about the second problem. So now take another one. So a radar at a frequency of 1.35 gigahertz has an antenna width, that is the aperture width we can take diameter of 32 feet, a maximum unambiguous range of 220 nautical miles and an antenna scan time of 10 seconds. So now what is the number of echo pulses per scan received by radar from a point of from the point target? So now for the beam width calculation for this antenna, you can use this relation. So now what is the integration improvement factor when the probability of detection is 0.9 and the probability of false alarm is 10 power minus 4? So now first we need to find out how many number of echo pulses per scan we can able to receive at the receiver. Okay, so that you can use two relations. So one is for the number of pulses to obtain. So you can use the theta b fp, that is pulse repetition frequency, by theta s scan angle, that is r, we can take it as the angle which scans the space, or we can write it as uh, the rotations per minute in the angular rotations per minute. So that we can represent it in terms of omega r. So you can write that also theta b fp by 6 times omega r. So this is rotations per minutes, how much angular rotations per minute. This also you can use, and also one more relation you can use n by fp. Okay, so the sorry, this is t naught, the scan time, and number of pulses by pulse repetition frequency. So you can use number of pulses, how much you can calculate by using scan time and the pulse repetition frequency. So here in this problem we can have the antenna scan time 10 seconds and pulse repetition frequency. So that you can calculate by using this unambiguous range, so that we know r equal to, so or f c into fp, so divided by 2. So that relation you can use c into fp by 2. Okay, so that you can use. So the similar here, whatever the unambiguous range we have find out, by with respect to pulse repetition frequency, you can use this cfp by 2 r unambiguous. So this is our unambiguous range, so you can use this equation to find out the fp. So now fp is nothing but 2 into the range, unambiguous range, divided by c. So find out fp. From this fp you can substitute, and you have known antenna scan time, you can find out what is the number of pulses. Okay, so now we can try to find out the number of pulses. So this is one part, so number of pulses how we can find out. So now another one, so the probability of detection which is given 0.9 and probability of false alarm which is given it as 10 power minus 4. So now by using these two we have to find out the integration improvement factor. So this integration improvement factor, okay, integration improvement factor, so which is the relation s by n ratio for single pulse divided by s by n ratio for the number of pulses. You multiply by number of pulses and s by n ratio for that number of pulses, you will get the integration improvement factor. So now this s by n, so you can use the relation, so which is given by a plus 0.12 in 12 times ab plus 1.7 times b. So now the factors a and b, so we can write it here. So these relations you can take and you can try to calculate the s by n ratio. A is nothing but ln of 0.62 by probability of false alarm, so that is given here, and b, which is nothing but ln of the probability of detection divided by 1 minus pd. Okay, so now we take this probability of detection and probability of false alarm, and you can take here and find out the a and b values. If you put a and b values, s by n it will come. So now if you multiply s by n by number of pulses, you will get the integration improvement factor. Okay, so this is about the problem. So I will send this, even whatever I have written here, I will send that, or I'll upload in the Moodle. I'll remove that and I'll upload this one. So this is about the problems based on some fourth unit. So this will complete, and we will see after test the next module. Okay, so attend the quiz at 5 o'clock, and you can attend the quiz, and you can answer, and we will do in the next class. So I have meeting, I will leave. Okay, so do that problem and try to get the answers. Okay.